Hey everyone, welcome to The Explainer. So, today we're taking a look at something literally all of us deal with our roads. The actual arteries keeping our cities alive. If you've ever pulled your hair out over a nightmare commute, you're not alone. But today we're diving into how we actually transition these roads from absolute chaos to smooth, predictable order. Let's just jump right in. Look at this. You can almost hear it, right? The blaring horns, the engines revving, the total gridlock. It's a scene most of us live through every single day. But the real question we've got to ask ourselves is, does it truly have to be this way? Is this broken system just inevitable? Take a look at the baseline reality here. You've got motorcycles driving straight into oncoming traffic. The street is cracked, cluttered, and there's basically zero systematic flow. It is pure, unadulterated chaos. But you know what the crazy part is? It's not just the physical mess. It's the fact that we've kind of just accepted this level of dysfunction as completely normal. Now, flip the script for a second. Imagine an environment where that noise just fades away. What if our streets were organized, clean, and genuinely safe? It seems like a totally different world, right? Well, our goal in this explainer is to figure out exactly how we bridge that massive gap between our chaotic reality and this ideal, structured future. Section 1. The fixable roadblocks. Okay, let's break this down. The overarching issues here actually boil down to four major, and more importantly, fixable roadblocks. We're talking failing infrastructure, nightmare bottlenecks, dangerous hazards, and civic eyesores. Let's zero in on exactly where the system is breaking down. First up, failing infrastructure. We're looking at deep cracks in the asphalt and totally busted footpaths. And hey, this isn't just an aesthetic issue. It physically forces pedestrians off the sidewalk and right into heavily trafficked, dangerous roads just to get where they're going. Then you've got the nightmare bottlenecks. You know those messy, narrow dividers? They are a massive culprit for gridlock. Because the design is flawed, trying to pull off a simple U-turn becomes an absolute nightmare. It backs up traffic in every direction and literally brings the entire flow to a grinding halt. And we can't forget the hazards and eyesores. Drivers cutting across lanes or just completely ignoring traffic flow and driving oncoming, it destroys any semblance of order. Pair that incredibly dangerous behavior with litter all over the streets and a total lack of organized civic utilities, and, well, you've got a recipe that degrades both public safety and community pride. Section 2. The engineering blueprint. All right, so how do we actually fix this? The priority blueprint lays out the exact steps needed to get to that calm, functional urban environment. It comes down to durable roads, engineered U-turns, green infrastructure, and pedestrian footpaths. Let's see how each of these actually works in the real world. Step 1 is all about the foundation, durable urban roads. This means upgrading the surface itself to high-grade, smooth asphalt. But actually, it's not just about the pavement. It's about crisp, highly reflective lane markings. There's a huge psychological element to traffic engineering here. When lanes are brightly and clearly painted, drivers just naturally align themselves. It immediately cuts down on the friction and chaos. Now, what's really interesting here is the concept of the engineered U-turn. Instead of a narrow, blockading barrier, you build a dedicated, widened U-turn pocket. It brilliantly untangles the traffic. It gives vehicles a safe place to wait and make their turn completely without blocking the oncoming lanes behind them. It's a real game changer. Step 3 brings nature and tech together. Green infrastructure. We're talking beautifully integrated trees planted right inside the concrete divider, paired with modern solar-powered electric poles. And this isn't just to make things look pretty. That greenery actively cuts down the harsh, blinding headlight glare from oncoming traffic at night. It makes the roads significantly safer for everyone. And step 4 is absolutely vital: pedestrian-first footpaths. By building wide, level, interlocking brick pavements, we finally give people a safe, dedicated space to walk. It naturally keeps them safely off the driving lanes and out of harm's way. Section 3. The citizen responsibility. Okay, so we've seen the engineering blueprint, but there's a missing variable here. We can build the most beautifully engineered roads in the world, right? But that infrastructure only works if our behavior aligns with it. We've got to realize that saving 2 minutes by driving the wrong way into oncoming traffic simply isn't worth a human life. We have to consciously choose proper lane usage and fully respect those pedestrian zones. To actually maintain that ideal picture we saw earlier, certain civic habits are absolutely required. First, we have to stop the wrong way driving. Full stop. Second, we need to respect pedestrian zones. Footpaths are for walking, not for parking motorcycles, and not for setting up impromptu stalls. And finally, we've got to use the infrastructure that's provided, like the newly installed segregated dustbins. Cleanliness and order, that's a shared responsibility. I really want to leave you with this crucial takeaway from the source material. It says, the transformation from chaos to order takes structural, political will, but more importantly, it takes our everyday cooperation. And they hit the nail on the head. The most perfect road will degrade right back into chaos tomorrow if our civic habits don't fundamentally change today. So, this transformation, it's completely possible, but it really does start with us. Take a hard look at your own urban environment, your own daily commute. Think about the infrastructure gaps and the behavioral habits in your specific neighborhood. Which change do you think your city needs to make first? Something to think about. Keep learning, keep observing, and thanks so much for joining me on this explainer. Drive safe out there.